So, Netflix just gave the green light to the DJI Inspire 3. Yeah, we're talking about a drone, but not just any drone. This thing shoots in 8K, has a full-frame sensor, and now it's approved to shoot actual Netflix originals. But what does that really mean for filmmakers? Let's break it down. Now, before we go deep, let's back up a little. The Inspire 3 dropped in April 2023, and right from the jump, it looked like DJI wasn't just releasing an upgrade. They were aiming to reset the bar. It replaced the Inspire 2, which had been around since 2016. That drone did a solid job in its time, used in indie films, docs, even some big commercial projects. But with the industry pushing hard toward full-frame, raw recording, higher dynamic range, and cleaner workflows, Inspire 2 started showing its age. DJI knew that. So Inspire 3 showed up with one goal: make aerial cinema gear that can actually hold up against ground cameras on pro sets, not just for B-roll or wide shots, but for real storytelling work. And now, with Netflix giving its stamp of approval, well, it kind of confirms what a lot of us already guessed. Inspire 3 isn't a drone for hobbyists, it's cinema grade. Netflix approval isn't just for show. There aren't many drones out there that hit all the checkboxes for high-end film work, and even fewer get the official nod from Netflix. Netflix has strict camera requirements for their original content. They look at things like sensor size, resolution, codec, bit depth, and dynamic range, all the stuff that matters when you're shooting for big screens and tight post workflows. They don't just go around approving every camera on the market. So when a drone makes it onto that list, it means the footage from that thing can hold up in a high-end color grade, in VFX-heavy environments, and across different lighting setups. It also means cinematographers now have a new tool that's officially cleared to use without worrying about delivery specs. That's a big deal, especially for second unit crews, for indie films that need aerials without renting a heavy lift rig. For DJI, this proves they're not just a drone company anymore, they're making filmmaking gear now. Now, if you're thinking, wait, didn't the Inspire 2 already make a name for itself? You're not wrong. The Inspire 2 had its moment. It gave a solid image pipeline with the X7 camera, pretty good ProRes workflows, and was already on the radar for indie productions. But it wasn't quite there for full top-tier use. It was close, but some things held it back, like the way it handled color science, the gimbal range, or even the lack of fine RTK control. Basically, good, but not bulletproof for cinema. With the Inspire 3 though, DJI clearly came back to the table and said, all right, let's do this properly. So now that it's Netflix approved, let's talk about the specs that earn this certification. Because that badge doesn't come easy. The approval isn't just about resolution, or frame rate, or brand. It's about whether a camera system can consistently deliver top-tier image quality that matches, or at least plays well with, main cinema cameras. That includes things like bit depth, dynamic range, codec flexibility, color accuracy, and full creative control in post. The key feature of the Inspire 3 is its X9 8K Air gimbal camera. That's what makes all the difference. We're talking full frame, 8K sensor with up to 8K 75 ProRes RAW and 8K 25 Cinema DNG. For anyone doing high-end post, that gives you serious latitude. You're getting 14+ stops of dynamic range, which is huge when you're shooting dramatic skies or bouncing between light and shadow in city scenes. And with DJI's cinema color system, it keeps everything true to life, without weird shifts in skin tones or highlights. That's one of the biggest points when you're shooting narrative film. If your drone footage doesn't match your ground cameras, it just doesn't cut it. This color system makes it way easier to blend aerial shots with ACAM footage from Reds or ARRI. Here's where the specs start to really matter. With full-frame 8K at up to 75 FPS in ProRes RAW, you're getting serious flexibility in post. You can punch in on shots, reframe, or stabilize without losing quality. If your composition's a bit off or the drone moved slightly in wind, you've got room to fix it. And that dual native ISO, EI 804,000 at 24 FPS, makes a real difference. It means you can shoot in lower light without drowning in noise. So whether it's golden hour, early morning haze, or a dimly lit cityscape, your footage still holds up. It's not just about numbers. It's about giving filmmakers tools they can actually trust when the light gets tricky or the timing gets tight. Let's talk about the gimbal. They redesigned the entire movement system. You've got 360 degrees pan, obviously, but they added something most people didn't see coming, an 80 degrees upward tilt. You can actually fly under something and tilt up. Bridges, overhangs, arches, you name it. And because the arms lift up and out of the way, you get an unobstructed view in all directions. One thing that people outside the production world don't always appreciate is repeatability. In real productions, especially with CGI, or when doing complex transitions, you need a drone that can fly the same path with pixel-level precision. That's where Waypoint Pro steps in. With centimeter-level RTK positioning, the Inspire 3 can fly repeatable routes that are identical every single take. Same gimbal angle, same speed, same elevation. This makes transition shots or visual effects integration way more achievable. Before, you needed massive rigs or manual post-stitching to make that happen. Now, the drone does it clean. Then there's the 3D dolly feature. It's like a flying crane shot. Just set your path, then smoothly move back and forth while adjusting speed and angle. It turns basic drone footage into cinematic shots with ease. Another big win? The obstacle avoidance system. This thing has sensors in every direction, up, down, side to side, 360 horizontal. But here's what matters. You can turn them off selectively. That's important, because when you're trying to get that perfect shot and the drone keeps yelling "obstacle detected," it ruins the flow. So DJI lets you choose. Disable the sensors in one direction, keep them in another, and even set manual ranges for alert distance. That gives experienced pilots a lot more control without throwing safety out the window. FPV on this drone, also upgraded. It's got a 1x1.8-inch sensor with 161 degrees DFOV, which is way wider than the Inspire 2. The resolution has also been bumped to 1080p 60 with much better low light. So now, pilots can actually fly more confidently during golden hour or into the night. It's not just about framing, it's about awareness, control, and trust in your gear. We have to mention transmission. DJI's O3 Pro system is miles ahead of what the Inspire 2 had. You're getting up to 9.3 miles of control range, and it can stream 1080p 90 or even 4K 30 live feeds to the controller. That means what you see is basically what you get, with only 90 milliseconds of latency. For directors or directors of photography watching on set, that's huge. You don't have to guess what the drone's capturing. You're right there with it. Now, let's talk about some thoughtful upgrades that may come with this one. It shoots onto DJI's 1TB Pro SSD, and you can offload through USB-C at 900 megabytes per second. That's fast. The TB51 battery system. You get 28 minutes per pair, and 6 batteries come in the kit. Plus, you can hot swap. So if you're flying long takes or just rotating batteries on set, there's no full reboot or downtime. Just pop them in and keep going. In fast mode, you can charge 2 batteries to 90% in 35 minutes, or all 8 to 100% in 160 minutes. So yeah, the battery system's smart, and that matters when the clock's ticking on a location. The RC Plus controller, solid too. Big 7-inch screen with 1200 nits of brightness, super visible outdoors. Physical controls for gimbal and exposure, full telemetry, HDMI out for live feed sharing. It feels professional, not like a toy. Then, dual control is independent now, so the pilot and gimbal operator can stand far apart, each on their own feed. That opens up way more creative flexibility, especially for fast-moving scenes or tight locations. Here's another underrated one: timecode sync. There's a 3.5mm port to sync timecode with ground cams. That sounds small, but in post, that saves a ton of time. When you're lining up aerial shots with multiple ground angles, you want everything in sync. This makes that part easier. Now, here's where we land. Why does Netflix care about all this? Because this isn't just about resolution. It's about image quality, control, reliability, and how well the drone integrates with a full-scale production workflow. From sharpness and color science to timecode and dual control, everything here adds up to a system that a real crew can use on set without cutting corners. You're not fighting the drone, you're just flying. Sure, the Inspire 3 is expensive, and it's not a casual hobby tool, but for production teams, indie filmmakers with ambition, or studios looking for a versatile aerial camera, this drone makes a lot of sense. And when something gets Netflix approval, it means it's officially good enough for the big leagues. Which means if you've got the talent and you've got the vision, this drone won't be the thing holding you back. So yeah, DJI showed up this time. And they didn't just build a better Inspire, they built a drone that finally fits into real cinema production, from sky to screen. And Netflix gave it the stamp. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more camera news and reviews.